What happens when one of Britain's most respected actors walks onto a daytime talk show expecting a normal interview and instead faces an ambush that turns into television's most shocking meltdown? In just 36 seconds of one cutting remark, a beloved host's reputation crumbles as cameras capture every brutal moment of a clash that nobody saw coming. Sean Bean sits down on the famous Loose Women panel, ready to discuss his latest project. The atmosphere seems normal at first. The studio audience applauds as he takes his seat between the hosts. Denise Welch sits directly across from him, flanked by Nadia Sawala and Kay Adams. The lights are bright, the cameras are rolling, and everything appears perfectly ordinary. But what starts as a simple introduction quickly spirals into something far darker. Denise leans forward with a smile that doesn't quite reach her eyes. "So Sean, lovely to have you here. We've been dying to ask you about your new drama series." Sean nods politely. "Thanks for having me." "Yeah, it's been a really exciting project to work on." "I'm sure it has," Denise says, her tone shifting slightly. "Though I have to say, we were all a bit surprised you agreed to come on our show." The comment hangs in the air. Sean's expression changes, confusion crossing his face. "Sorry, what do you mean by that?" Nadia jumps in quickly, trying to smooth things over. "What Denise means is that we don't often get actors of your caliber on daytime television." But Denise isn't backing down. "No, that's not what I meant at all. What I meant is that we've heard through the grapevine that you're not exactly a fan of women-led shows." The studio goes quiet. Sean sits back in his chair, clearly taken aback. "I'm sorry, where on earth did you hear that?" "Oh, come on," Denise says with a dismissive wave. "You've been in this industry for decades. We know how these things work. We know what actors like you really think about shows like ours." Kay tries to interject. "Denise, maybe we should—" "No, Kay, I think this is important," Denise interrupts. "Sean, you've worked with some of the biggest directors in Hollywood. You've done epic films, serious dramas. So tell us honestly, what made you stoop to our level?" Sean's jaw tightens. He takes a breath, clearly trying to maintain his composure. "I don't think I've stooped to any level. I came here to talk about my work and to have a pleasant conversation." "A pleasant conversation," Denise repeats, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "Right. So it has nothing to do with the fact that your latest project isn't getting the attention you'd hoped for? Nothing to do with the fact that maybe your career isn't quite what it used to be?" The audience gasps. Nadia's mouth falls open. "Denise, that's completely out of line," she says firmly. But Denise keeps going. "I'm just saying what everyone's thinking. Sean Bean, the great actor who dies in everything, now has to come on a women's daytime show to stay relevant." Sean's face reddens. "You know what? I actually came here as a favor. Your producers reached out to me multiple times, practically begging me to appear. They told me this would be a respectful, professional interview." "Oh, so now we're begging for guests?" Denise fires back. "That's rich coming from someone who hasn't had a major film role in years." Kay tries again to regain control. "Okay, I think we need to take a step back here. This isn't what our show is about." "Isn't it, though?" Denise says, turning to Kay. "Aren't we supposed to ask the tough questions? Aren't we supposed to have honest conversations?" "There's a difference between honest and cruel," Sean says quietly, his voice controlled, but firm. "And what you're doing right now is just cruel." Denise laughs, but it's a harsh sound. "Cruel? I'm being cruel?" This from a man who's made millions playing violent characters and perpetuating toxic masculinity on screen? "That's acting," Sean responds, his patience clearly wearing thin. "I portray characters. That doesn't mean I endorse their behavior." "Really?" Denise challenges. "Because I've read interviews where you talk about how much you enjoy playing these tough guy roles, how you connect with these aggressive, domineering characters." Nadia shakes her head. "Denise, you're twisting his words. Every actor talks about connecting with their roles. That's literally the job." Stay out of this, Nadia, Denise snaps. Then turning back to Sean, you know what I think? I think you came here expecting us to fawn all over you. I think you expected 4 women to just giggle and ask you softball questions about what it's like to be so handsome and talented. Sean stands up slowly. I came here expecting professionalism. I came here expecting to be treated with basic human decency. Clearly, that was too much to ask. Oh, here we go, Denise says, rolling her eyes. The big man can't handle a little pushback from women. What's wrong, Sean? Not used to women who actually challenge you? This isn't challenge, Sean says, his voice rising slightly. This is ambush. This is disrespect. And I won't sit here and be insulted for your entertainment. The audience is completely silent now. You could hear a pin drop in the studio. Kay looks mortified. Nadia has her head in her hands. But Denise continues, seemingly energized by the conflict. So you're just going to run away? She taunts. Typical. A woman holds you accountable and you can't handle it. Accountable for what exactly? Sean demands. What have I done? I came here to talk about a television show I'm in. That's it. I haven't said anything offensive. I haven't been rude. All I've done is sit here while you've attacked my career, my character, and my integrity. Maybe if you had any integrity, you wouldn't be so defensive, Denise shoots back. That's when Sean's demeanor completely changes. The politeness drops away. His voice becomes steel. You know what? I've been in this industry for over 30 years. I've worked with some of the most talented people in the world. I've been on sets with directors who demand excellence, with actors who push themselves to the limit. And in all that time, in all those experiences, I have never been treated with such blatant disrespect as I have in the last 5 minutes on this sofa. Denise opens her mouth to respond, but Sean raises his hand. No, I'm not finished. You talk about tough questions and honest conversations, but what you're doing isn't journalism. It's not even good television. It's just mean. You've decided for some reason that I'm your target today, and you've spent this entire interview trying to tear me down. I'm just not afraid to speak truth to power, Denise insists. Power? Sean repeats incredulously. What power? I'm an actor. I show up, I say my lines, I go home. I'm not a politician. I'm not some corporate executive. I'm just a person trying to do my job. And you've turned this into some kind of personal vendetta based on absolutely nothing. Kay finally finds her voice. Sean, I am so sorry. This is not how we normally conduct interviews. Don't apologize for me, Denise snaps at Kay. I'm not sorry. Someone needed to knock him down a peg. Knock me down a peg? Sean looks genuinely bewildered now. I walked in here humble and polite. I came ready to have a normal conversation. You're the one who came in with an agenda. Nadia turns to Denise. Can you please explain what this is actually about? Because none of us understand why you're attacking him like this. Denise crosses her arms. I'm tired of actors like him thinking they're too good for shows like ours. I'm tired of the condescension. But I never said anything condescending, Sean protests. You've literally invented this entire narrative in your head. I've never said a single negative word about this show or anyone on it. You didn't have to say it, Denise retorts. It's in your attitude. It's in the way you carry yourself. Sean laughs, but there's no humor in it. So now you're attacking me for my posture? For the way I sit? This is absolutely mental. Don't you dare call me mental, Denise warns. I didn't call you mental. I said this situation is mental. And it is. This whole thing is completely absurd, Sean says, his frustration obvious. The tension in the studio is unbearable. The camera crew doesn't know where to look. The audience sits, frozen, uncomfortable witnesses to the breakdown happening before them. Denise leans forward aggressively. You know what your problem is, Sean. You can't handle strong women. You're so used to being the big star, the leading man, that when a woman doesn't bow down to you, you fall apart. That is complete nonsense, Sean fires back. Some of the best directors I've worked with have been women. Some of my closest friends and colleagues are women. I have a daughter, for crying out loud. This has nothing to do with gender and everything to do with you being needlessly hostile. Oh, here comes the "I have a daughter" defense, Denise mocks. Classic. Kay stands up now too. Denise, enough. This has gone too far. Sit down, Kay, Denise orders. No, Kay says firmly. This isn't right. Sean is our guest. Whatever issue you have, this isn't the way to handle it. Denise turns on Kay. Are you seriously taking his side? There shouldn't be sides, Nadia interjects. This is supposed to be an interview, not a battle. Well, maybe I'm sick of pretending, Denise says loudly. Maybe I'm sick of watching actors waltz onto our show, use us for publicity, and then go back to their fancy lives while treating shows like ours as beneath them. Again, I never said anything like that. Sean emphasizes each word. You are putting words in my mouth that I never spoke. You are attributing attitudes to me that I don't have. This is entirely your creation. I know your type, Denise insists. You don't know anything about me, Sean counters. You've spent 10 minutes with me, and you've decided you know my entire character. That's not insight. That's prejudice. The word prejudice hangs heavy in the air. Denise's face flushes. How dare you? How dare I what? Point out that you've judged me without cause? That you've attacked me based on assumptions rather than anything I've actually said or done? Sean's voice is steady now, controlled anger replacing his earlier frustration. Nadia tries once more. Can we please just reset? Start over? There's no point, Sean says, shaking his head. The damage is done. I came here in good faith, and I've been treated appallingly. Oh, you poor thing, Denise says with exaggerated sympathy. Did the mean lady hurt your feelings? It's not about my feelings, Sean responds. It's about basic professional courtesy. It's about treating people with respect, qualities which you seem to lack entirely. Get out then, Denise says suddenly, pointing toward the exit. If you're so offended, if we're so beneath you, just leave. Denise, both Kay and Nadia exclaim simultaneously. But Sean nods slowly. You know what? I think I will. Because I don't need to sit here and be your punching bag. I don't need to subject myself to whatever this is. He starts to remove his microphone. The technical crew rushes forward, unsure whether to stop him or help him. The studio descends into chaos. Producers are shouting from off camera. The audience doesn't know whether to applaud or sit in silence. That's right. Run away, Denise calls out. Show everyone what you're really made of. Sean pauses, microphone in hand. What I'm made of? I'll tell you what I'm made of. I'm made of enough self-respect to know when I'm in a toxic situation. I'm made of enough dignity to walk away from someone who's clearly more interested in creating drama than having an actual conversation. And I'm made of enough professionalism to know that this, right here, is the opposite of what television should be. Spare us the lecture, Denise scoffs. It's not a lecture, it's an observation, Sean says. You had an opportunity today to have a great interview. You had a guest who was willing, open, and ready to engage. And you threw it away because you wanted to grandstand. You wanted to make yourself look tough and edgy, but all you've done is make yourself look petty. Kay reaches out toward Sean. Please, can we just take a break? Talk this through? Sean softens slightly when he looks at Kay and Nadia. You two seem lovely. I genuinely mean that. But I can't stay here. Not while he gestures toward Denise, is determined to turn this into some kind of circus. I'm the circus? Denise laughs harshly. You're the one making a scene. I'm responding to a scene you created, Sean corrects. There's a difference. He hands his microphone to a nearby technician. The studio falls silent again, everyone waiting to see what happens next. Sean takes a deep breath, visibly trying to compose himself. I want to be clear about something, he says, addressing the camera directly now. I have nothing but respect for daytime television. I have nothing but respect for talk shows and the people who make them. What I don't respect is being ambushed. I don't respect being insulted under the guise of tough questioning. And I don't respect hosts who abuse their position to attack guests who can't defend themselves without looking like the bad guy. You seem to be defending yourself just fine, Denise mutters. Sean ignores her, continuing to speak to the camera. To anyone watching who was looking forward to hearing about the new series, I apologize. I came here ready to talk about it. I was excited to share it with you. Unfortunately, that conversation never happened, because it was never meant to happen. This was always going to be about something else entirely. He turns back to Denise one final time. I genuinely hope you figure out whatever it is that made you so angry today. I hope you find some peace. Because carrying around that much hostility can't be good for anyone. Don't you dare psychoanalyze me, Denise snaps. I'm not. I'm just making an observation based on what I've witnessed, Sean says calmly. You've been aggressive, dismissive, and cruel. Those aren't the actions of someone who's content. Nadia nods slowly. He's not wrong, Denise. This wasn't normal behavior, even for you. Denise whirls on Nadia. Oh, so now you're ganging up on me? Nobody's ganging up on you, Kay says wearily. But you have to admit this got out of hand. Out of hand? Denise repeats. I asked some hard questions. That's my job. Your job is to interview guests, not interrogate them, Sean says. There's a difference between being challenging and being antagonistic. Today, you were antagonistic from the moment I sat down. Because I could see right through you, Denise insists. See through me to what? Sean demands. What exactly do you think you see? What horrible secret do you think you've uncovered? I'm an actor. I make television shows and films. That's it. There's no conspiracy. There's no hidden agenda. You've built up this entire villain in your mind that simply doesn't exist. The audience begins to murmur among themselves. A few people actually start clapping for Sean. This seems to enrage Denise further. Of course they're on your side, she says bitterly. Everyone always takes the man's side. This isn't about sides, Sean says, exasperated. And it's certainly not about gender. This is about how you've conducted yourself today. If the roles were reversed, if I had spoken to you the way you've spoken to me, I'd be crucified, and rightfully so. Kay nods sadly. He's right, Denise. If a male host had spoken to a female guest this way, there would be outrage. That's different, Denise argues weakly. How is it different? Nadia asks. Respect should go both ways. Being a woman doesn't give you license to be cruel. Being on your own show doesn't give you the right to bully guests. Denise looks around at her co-hosts, seemingly realizing she's lost their support. I can't believe you're all turning on me. We're not turning on you, Kay says gently. We're trying to help you see that this went wrong. Nothing went wrong, Denise maintains stubbornly. I did what I came here to do. And what was that exactly? Sean asks. Because if your goal was to humiliate me, you've failed. If your goal was to make yourself look powerful, you've failed at that too. All you've managed to do is create an uncomfortable situation that nobody enjoyed. I enjoyed it, Denise claims, but her voice lacks conviction. I don't believe that, Sean says quietly. I think you're embarrassed now, and you're doubling down because you don't want to admit you made a mistake. But it's okay to make mistakes. What's not okay is refusing to acknowledge them. I don't need life lessons from you, Denise retorts. Clearly you need them from someone, Sean says, and there's sadness in his voice now, rather than anger. Because whatever happened here today, it wasn't right. And I think deep down, you know that. For the first time, Denise seems to falter. Her bravado cracks just slightly, but then she squares her shoulders and lifts her chin. If you're going to leave, then leave. Don't drag it out. Sean nods slowly. You're right. There's no point in staying. He looks at Kay and Nadia again. It was nice to meet you both, even under these circumstances. I'm sorry it ended this way. We're sorry, too, Nadia says sincerely. This isn't who we are. I know, Sean says kindly. Then he walks toward the exit, his back straight, his head high. The camera follows him as he moves through the studio. Audience members whisper to each other. The remaining panel sits in stunned silence. Just before he reaches the door, Sean turns back one last time. You know, the sad thing is, this could have been great. We could have had a real conversation about acting, about storytelling, about the industry. Instead, it became this. What a waste. And with that, he's gone. The door closes behind him with a soft click that somehow sounds deafening in the quiet studio. The camera pans back to the panel where Denise sits alone now, Kay and Nadia having moved away slightly. The host's face is unreadable, somewhere between defiant and deflated. Kay clears her throat. Well, I think we need to take a break. No, Denise says sharply. We keep going. Denise, we can't just... Nadia starts. I said we keep going, Denise repeats, her voice hard. Bring out the next guest. But the damage is already done. The producers are in a panic off screen. The audience is buzzing with conversation. And somewhere outside the studio, Sean Bean is walking away from what should have been a simple publicity appearance, but became something far more dramatic. The cameras continue to roll, capturing every awkward second as the show tries to regain some semblance of normalcy. But everyone knows that what just happened will be the moment everyone remembers. Not the next guest. Not the planned segments. Just those brutal minutes where professionalism broke down and an interview became an interrogation.